Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and today we are going to be reviewing One Piece chapter 1116. And this is going to be titled Conflict. So I'm Akainu Fanboy. The other guy is Geboss.
Yo.
And please like and subscribe if you have not, and leave a comment on your thoughts on this chapter and our review of said chapter. So we have another Wano cover story with Yamato. And I just do not really care. What are your thoughts on it?
It's going to be super important. That's what I predict. It's going to be how Pluton is released.
Yeah. So anyways, moving on to the chapter.
You can't prove me wrong.
I don't want to listen. So Vegapunk continues studying the truth and all that, and so the civilians are like, how can there be an 800 war? Nobody lives for that long. And then you get a shot of Emu, and then Emu's also looking at, we assume is Lily, even though it looks a lot like Vivi. The resemblance is really uncanny.
Yeah.
So I find that interesting. And then we get a shot of Alabasta too. So, which kind of sets more of a foundation where he's saying no one can be alive that long. So you kind of see more of the mortal conflict spawning between the Nefertari clan and Emu and the Five Elders. So that's kind of how I interpreted this first section right here, So did you have any thoughts on that in particular?
Yeah, so you see it as like a generational thing between Emu and them. I mean, there's the Chekhov's gun of Law's immortality surgery. So that's going to be brought into the story somehow, and I think Emu was the recipient of it in the past, and that's why he can live so long. Because specifically, like back when Cobra was talking with him, like, it was Ivankov who brought it up, saying like there was an Emu back in the past of the Neurona family, I think. But I don't know. I think that potentially, because we saw like how upset he got with Lily when Cobra brought him up and everything, like, and that she was a D. I think potentially this could be like kind of a love triangle thing between Umu, Joy Boy, and Lily, potentially.
Vivi Luffy ship?
I don't know. Luffy's in love with adventure and meat.
Yeah, I don't think Hancock would like that too much.
That's true.
So I thought that was interesting, but yeah, I do agree Emu has been living since that time, but I do agree, like, there's like kind of a whale war, if you will, where, Doflamingo talks about the enemies of the gods and all that kind of stuff too, and how those people continue to live to this day and challenge Emu, and I think there's good Ds and bad Ds, and that's why. So maybe Vivi could be a D2, because the other two people that Emu was holding pictures of was Luffy and Blackbeard, who were also Ds.
Well, yeah, when Cobra was like dying, he said to Sabo, tell Vivi that she's a D also. So yeah, she is one.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of this like kind of works out well. I think it's kind of like solidifying this theme more. And thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, I did not remember that off the top of my head. So sorry about that. Yeah, and
no,
then,
I recently reread those chapters, so.
Okay, yeah, no, it's been a while for me. So, and then he talks about the Mother Flame, and we find out that the Mother Flame, in fact, is what is powering Uranus.
I mean, it's not specifically said to be Uranus, but that's the only other one that we know of.
Yeah. Which is interesting, and would explain why the world's flooding more recently. I guess you can say why it's taken so long for the world to flood.
Yeah. So what I find interesting is that there was a power source akin to the Mother Flame all the way in the past. Because Uranus must have been powered by something back then. I have a potential thing that it could have been
Prometheus.
Maybe. I thought Prometheus was
I kind of joking. Yeah.
okay. But I mean, Prometheus was like wasn't he like the myth was he was the one who brought fire to the humans from the gods.
I was talking about Big Mom's homie.
I know, but I'm talking about like the the mythology part of it too.
Yeah.
But I think it could have potentially been powered by Lunarians and their flames.
Mm-hmm. That's a good theory, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, but besides that, once again we see like Vegapunk's thing where he's like, "Oh, I wanted to use this to power the whole world," but again, the government takes his stuff and bastardizes it into their weapons of war.
And I really did. I know this is kind of like jumping forward a little bit, but I did enjoy Vegapunk apologizing, because he should be apologizing, because there's more than just a mother flame. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you messed up with, man. But it's good for him to finally like come to like grips with like I'm a part of the problem, and like please forgive me and stuff. So and his last word. So I appreciated the humility there, and also it shows even the good guys have their imperfections too. So I like that a lot. I thought that was really good. And then this next section with Kaku, speaking of like growth, character growth and things like that, where Stussy wants to let Kaku go, and Edison's kind of giving this idea too that Stussy actually cares about the Cyberpol agents too.
Yeah.
You know, so because I was kind of thinking about it the other day when she took out Dufeld, you know, and how like she looked like she was playing the role really well of like I'm a Cyberpol agent, you know, and I think she did kind of get into her job a bit, you know, and she did enjoy parts of her job and all the rest, you know. So it was interesting to see Kaku's face though when it came to this stuff, you know, where he's touched by that, because the last time he really saw that affection was with the Galley La Company, not the Galley La Podcast, but we do like Kaku as a part of the Galley La Podcast. But the Galley La Company, the Galley La Company like showed him that affection, and like I was kind of referencing this previously in the last chapter review, that he was the only one after the Cyberpol fights at Ennie's lobby that basically who had remorse, you know, for not you know, about his last life, and he actually misses it and things like that too. So this seems to like really show a change in Kaku, which I like, because I do like Kaku a lot as a character.
Yeah. And to me, it kind of adds into Stussy, because even though she is a clone, like she has her own life, and like Essen says here, like it shows proof of her humanity, like because we can't tell how long she's been in CP0, but I guess a long time that she formed bonds with them, and but she's helping Vegapunk because she's also like indebted to him too. So, but yeah.
So that was good. I like the scene. It was good, and I think there's a good shot that Stussy ends up teaming up with Gibberson, and that they form another underground alliance, and she starts her own faction, and that's my own theory. So nobody should take it for the record. Do you remember Gibberson?
Not really, no. I was just gonna ask who he was.
Exactly. He was the guy that was like drinking liquor at Big Mom's funeral. At her wedding. You know, for Putty's wedding.
Oh, okay.
That had like no lines and everything. You know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're gonna be the
like...
the king and queen of the underworld.
Yes. So I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. Anyways, so moving on. So and then he talks about how part of the flame fragment was stolen, and then we find out that it was York, right? And then, you know, which isn't much of a surprise, you know.
Yeah.
So and this is kind of so we, like I said, we get to the apology and things like that too. So
I mean,
I do find it. Yeah, sorry. Go.
I don't know. I think I'm a little bit more sympathetic to Vegapunk, because like even like the person here is like, Vegapunk, it's not your fault that they're using it the way they are. Like, you can't. It's like apologizing that knives are made because they can both be used for like stuff in the kitchen and stabbing someone. You know what I mean?
So I would push back where I'd say the difference is there's a difference between if I'm making it like a car invention, but the difference is, like, let's just say a terror organization is funding my research of a car, and I know what they're going to do with the car, right? And that's how I see with the world government. He knows the type of people they are, what they've been doing with this technology, but he continues to still make it for them. So you can call it like naivety and stupidity, which he has shown a bit. You know, he's like really brilliant but naive and dumb at the same time, which could explain maybe less moral culpability in this respect. But I do find that kind of interesting.
Okay.
In that respect too. So that's how I view it. That's why I come down a little bit hard. It's like, you should know better.
Yeah.
These type of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. That's a good point.
Yeah, and so that's kind of it. Like he knew about O'Hara. You know, like these aren't good people. You know, and the only time he decided to change his mind when they tried to kill him, right? Yeah. He probably would have kept on doing this, you know, unless the government decided not to kill him. You know, so yeah, kind of. It was kind of funny to see Momonosuke and Kinemon about Pluton. Yeah. Then Pluton is. I don't know. So I actually like Kinemon and they're like one of the few characters I actually like from Manga. So it was good to see them there. And we see your boy in the next panel. Yeah. Crocodile.
all the people related
to a lot of cigars.
Yeah. Yeah. We see Akainu.
The salesmen of cigars in One Piece are their stocks are going up.
Yeah. But yeah, and then we specifically see the thing about, so we know about Pluton, we know about Poseidon now, and I kind of wrote off the Mother Flame being Uranus because it was too recent, but it makes sense that it's powering it. So now it looks like the Luffy's group has access to two of them, and the government has only access to one. So I'm wondering how, because it seems like that Caribou is the only other person other than the Straw Hats who know all this stuff about the ancient weapons and the remnants of the Roger Pirates.
Maybe parts of the Blackbeard Pirates, maybe. Trying to think on that point. I'm not sure. Yeah.
I don't know, because I think Oda's setting it up because Caribou went with Katarina Devon and Van Ogre.
Yeah, okay.
So
that's where I was making that connection. Gotcha.
Yeah, okay. So Blackbeard's getting to know about it now. So I think the Blackbeard's definitely going to try something. I don't know what.
Yeah, so going to kind of this next section right here with Son Goku and Akainu. So Son Goku's kind of chilling. He's stress eating. He's not chilling.
He's stress eating.
He's stress eating, but he's not like how he would be as Fleet Admiral. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, this is intense, not like stop, like with Whitebeard, you know, saying One Piece is real.
Yeah.
Akainu's taking that role now. So,
yeah.
I think there's three ways to interpret this. Because I think people online are kind of arguing back and forth on how to interpret this panel right here. Everything you're going to explain everything Vegapunk. So how a lot of people are interpreting this online is he's commanding, like, you better explain everything because I'm pissed off with what you're saying in a way, and I want to know more about this, right? And then there's a second option where he's getting angry at the fact, like, he's exposing everything to the world, you know? And then I'm taking a third approach where, we have to see the official translation, I guess, but
yeah, when
you look at this, I think it's more Akainu was interested in what he was initially saying about all the stuff leading up to it, But when you look at the panel right before it, and you see Sengoku right before that too, the Void Century is still an enigma, but there are those who know what happened in its entirety. And that's where it flicks off. Okay, he's bringing in the pirates. I hate pirates. Don't bring that up. Because Akainu didn't show this anger to the other stuff Vegapunk was saying. But he's only showing it in reference to the pirate stuff. So I think some of those people who have presented the theory that this news is trouble to Akainu, like all the Void Century, Lucia, and all the other stuff Vegapunk was saying, that could still change Akainu's heart to turn against the world government. But as soon as you bring up pirates, that's the thing Akainu's against at the end of the day, is pirates, right? And so when you bring out secret information having to do with pirates, that's going to set them off,
Yeah. Maybe, because like you said, it says there are those who know what happened in its entirety, and then it cuts to Akainu. So maybe, I don't think he knows everything, but maybe the Gorosei said look, there's information out there that pirates know, and you need to make sure that they don't spread it. So maybe that's why, because
pertaining to the One Piece, right?
Yeah,
because the One Piece is what started this whole thing. Started the pirate era, and that's what Akainu hates. He doesn't love the world government or the Gorosei. I think he hates them. I think he sees them as a hindrance to his goal, and what he wants to do is kill every pirate. And if Vegapunk talks about this stuff having to do with the Void Century and the One Piece, then that's going to give more rise to more pirates. That's what he's afraid of.
Yeah, but yeah, what do you think that the consequences are? Because Vegapunk tells everyone that the member of the Pirate King's crew knew everything about this, know the history of the Void Century and everything. I mean, is it widely known who was all on the Roger's crew? I guess through bounties, but
yeah, bounties is what I'm thinking of. Yeah, and people had an understanding who Rayleigh was and all the rest. I'd be surprised if they didn't know who the crew was, kind of thing.
Yeah, but would they go after we see Crocus here with Laboon? Do they even know that he's there, or I think they know where Rayleigh's at, but
yeah,
again, Kizaru didn't do anything after Sabody to arrest him, and Rayleigh hasn't moved, so I think they're just kind of
immediately,
they're kind of leaving him alone for right now.
Yeah, because immediately after the war ended and everything, though, the whole world was kind of falling apart after Whitebeard died too, and the Marines had to restore order. So I think there was kind of more of a pressing need to restore order in that way. And Rayleigh's not really doing anything to upset the balance of the world. So why waste resources, kind of thing. And I think I did find it interesting they didn't show Scopper at all.
I mean,
they always, if he's alive, right? That's just what I'm trying to.
Scopper, I think, is the One Piece at this point, by the amount of times that people want to see him and how many times that he's shown up.
You think this would be a time to show him, though, in a way?
Yeah, maybe he's gonna show up and pull a Shanks, and he's putting end to the Egghead incident.
Yeah, so I thought that was interesting there. But yeah, just quickly, just on your thoughts. We don't have to get super in depth to it. So, do you think Akainu and the Marines as large, do you think they're pushed more against the government after hearing this stuff, or are they still in the same position?
I don't know. It's hard to say what he's angry at, because he's angry at so many things. Even if you look closely at the big shot of the panel immediately before you could see the smoke coming from his office at the top of the of Marineford, he's steaming that much. But but I don't know. I would say it's more half and half. I would say Kizaru's more likely to flip than Akainu is at this point. But I don't know. That's just my guess.
Yeah, and when I say flip, I mean they're gonna try to take the throne like Blackbeard does. In a way, that's how I view it. I don't think they're gonna be Nakama with the revolutionaries or the pirates.
I mean, if that's the case, it's gonna be a better. I think Oda's set up to do a better Game of Thrones than Game of Thrones, the TV show, did.
I think that sounds like a brilliant ending too. I mean, so I'm biased and inclined, but if you had like all the factions that Doflamingo presented and everything, you know, like I think it's just like a really cool storytelling where you have the Marines, the revolutionaries, some of the Yonko at this point, right? And then you have the Gorosei, and everyone's like fighting to rip them off the throne. I think that's really cool, you know. So I don't know, maybe that's more we could talk about in another video, but that's just I do find it interesting that the first time we saw Akainu during the speech, he wasn't angry. He's kind of listening and taking it in, but then this part set him off, you know. So that's what I find interesting about the whole thing there. Yeah, like you said, he's always angry, and then in that one panel he wasn't angry. So that's what I was my interest was most piqued about, was the silence there. But
yeah,
it's kind of a roundabout way of saying I'm not sure if even this information is going to get out, because I think York's going to stop it, because I think it would be weird if Vegapunk revealed a huge thing about the One Piece, and I think that kind of defeats the point of the story.
Oh, I don't think he's going to reveal anything about the One Piece yet, because I don't know if anything about the One Piece is even written on poneglyphs. Like, the directions to it are, but I think the thing itself might not be written about, you know?
So, I guess, like, with Rayleigh's panel where he says the thrill is theirs to seek now, right, Roger? And that's the last panel. I think, not everything, but I think part of what he's saying is going to be what Rayleigh was going to say at that bar. And Saboti.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I'm interpreting it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more like this next generation is the one that's going to be the one that fulfills Joy Boy's promise, and whatever's at Laugh Tale.
Yeah. So I think he's going to start describing some of Laugh Tale, and he knows more, and then they're going to cut it off. I think they're going to kind of tease it, you know, because they now know where the robot is, basically, you know?
Yeah. I don't know if Laugh Tale itself is going to be name dropped, but I don't know, because there's only kind of 3 factions that are, 4, for the 4 Yonko that are poised to go after the One Piece at this point. So, I mean, even if the information is got out, I don't think that it would affect the world at large, because they wouldn't have access to it.
But it might be so intertwined with the Void Century, though, and Emu.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's part of why he's talking about it, you know? So there are those who know what happened in its entirety, right? And then it cuts to, you know, Roger, basically, right? You know, so, and that's why I think he's going to talk about part of Laugh Tale. He's just going to say a little bit, and then it's going to get disconnected. Because, like, we're starting to get to, like, obviously the One Piece is the end of the story. This is, like, everything, you know? But as he's starting to get onto this topic, York's like, hey, no, I know where it is now, to cut it off, right? So he's setting up where the broadcast is just about to be cut off, as he is about to spoil something that's going to, like, potentially spoil the series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I interpret how things are going right now, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's definitely what it's going to, it looks toward. It just depends on what's getting out. But speaking of of that, we finally learn, I've seen this theory thrown around a lot, that the broadcast is coming from the giant itself. So a lot of people called that, and it was true. But I I mean, this giant is like not even responding to cannon fire at all, so it's gonna take a lot to take it down, especially since it seems like this has been powered by technology from the Void Century, so it's more advanced than what we have right now. But yeah.
So do you think they're going to activate Uranus to destroy it?
I mean, I think that's what we had our one discussion video about, that Imu was going to potentially just nuke the whole place with it. And if that happens, then I mean, that's even more proof about everything, and I think the world would turn against them even more. Because like even earlier, we see like when they talk about Lulucia, because no one knew about that. Like we see King Elizabello like saying like, go and confirm that Lulucia is gone. So but yeah, I think if they do that, they wipe it off the map, then that's just proving Vegapunk's point even more.
I guess, how do you power it when you're not in direct contact with it and no one's manning it too?
That's true too, yeah.
You know, I think that's another conundrum in itself. Yeah, I can see the Gorosei teaming up and destroying it. I mean, there's also this weird aspect too that we've forgotten about, is Kizaru. Where is he?
Yeah, he's just chilling. He's on the ship. He's tired.
Yeah.
He went through a lot today, killing his friend and fighting Luffy.
Friends.
And being literally like turned into a pizza.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, I'm done.
Yeah,
it's cool. I'm not gonna work overtime today, you know.
Yeah.
So those are my thoughts. I thought it was a fantastic chapter. I think honestly these chapters have been hidden and they're surreal to see. We're learning so much. And one last point I will say, I do like how York's gonna be the one that's the downfall in a way. It's Vegapunk's undisciplined, uncontrolled desire for knowledge is leading to his downfall again, you know. You know, so I think that's just really interesting to see on just a narrative level, to see that she's going to be the downfall that's most likely, you know.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, any more thoughts?
I mean, this is a big cliffhanger to leave us on, so yeah.
Damn it, Oda.
He needs his breaks. I mean, honestly,
he needs a new cigar too.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, if this means like more years of One Piece, even if it's at the rate that it's going, I'm good with it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so everyone, we will pop out some more Jujutsu Kaisen reviews, and we're gonna pop out probably a lot more discussion reviews, just having to do this chapter because there's a lot we can chew over here. But so please like and subscribe if you have not. Leave a comment, give your thoughts on the chapter, give us thoughts on our review as well, and we will see you guys later on this week. Peace.
See ya.